if Terence Crawford moves up to fight Canelo, it's gonna be a worse fight than fucking Charlo running around Canelo by murder against Crawford. That shit wouldn't happen. They have weight classes for a reason.
Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford are gearing up for a highly anticipated showdown around the Cinco de Mayo weekend. However, for Crawford, the challenge extends beyond facing his formidable Mexican opponent. He also has to contend with the loud voices of his critics. While Crawford is no stranger to doubt, this time the skepticism is stronger than ever. Many boxing professionals are urging him not to jeopardize his undefeated record, warning that stepping into the ring for this fight could result in his first career loss.
Crawford cares about his life, and with that fight, what do that fight do for Canelo? Fighting Crawford, and Crawford beats Canelo. What do that do for Canelo?
Roy Jones, one of the most dominant boxers of his era, continues to stay deeply involved in the careers of today's rising stars. Among them, Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez shine as two of the best pound-for-pound fighters of this generation. The prospect of a potential clash between these two has sparked excitement and captured the imagination of boxing fans around the globe.
That there are so many other fights to make that's realistic, it makes sense, and less life risking on top of the risk that we risk stepping in there with guys our weight.
Terence Crawford, a four-division world champion, has shown interest in taking on Canelo Alvarez, the reigning super middleweight king. However, the significant weight difference between the two presents a major challenge for the American fighter.
It's time to take over and start beating the guys around him, he's the best of that group. Bud is in a group above him. Bud don't need to come back down to 47 to meet him. That's crazy.
In an interview with Mill City Boxing, Roy Jones Jr. shared his thoughts on the hypothetical clash between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. While he praised Crawford's exceptional talent and skills, the legendary boxer leaned toward Canelo as the favorite. "I like Terence, but I'm going to lean towards Canelo early because of his size," Jones said. However, if he lets Terence get into the fight, Terence is going to be a problem. If Terence can handle the size difference, he'll beat him. Jones also highlighted the importance of Canelo's punching power, emphasizing it as a decisive factor in the outcome of the fight.
Bud looking to try to make history and get out. Get his big bank and get out. His big bank is who? Canelo. He willing to take that gamble.
That's the thing, Jones Jr. explained. "We won't know until we see Terence get hit because we haven't seen him take that kind of power. That's the deciding factor. If you can disrupt Bud's fight plan by hurting him, you've got a chance to beat him. But if you can't hurt him, you can't change his plan, and you're in trouble." This analysis highlights Crawford's need to neutralize Canelo's renowned power. If Crawford can rely on his technical boxing skills and effectively avoid Canelo's devastating punches, he could potentially pull off a historic upset. While the possibility of a Canelo versus Crawford fight remains a dream scenario for fans, Canelo Alvarez is currently focused on preparing for his next opponent.
If he beats him, he may go fight Benavidez next. If he don't beat him, he say, "Okay, I'll take it as high as I can go. I'm done."
That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy if he gets...
International Boxing Federation interim champion William Skull has recently been mentioned as a potential opponent. However, this wasn't always the focus for Roy Jones Jr. The Hall of Famer, now a promoter, trainer, and respected analyst, previously shared scenarios where he believed both Terence Crawford and David Benavidez could defeat Canelo Alvarez, before revising his stance. Speaking about David Benavidez, Jones acknowledged the complexity of the matchup. "It's a tough fight to call because Benavidez throws a lot of punches," Jones said in an interview with BoxingScene.com. "Sometimes, power can intervene and change the situation."
Big for Crawford, I'm not sure about that because Crawford does have punching power and shock, but I think Canelo's a little big. He showed tonight that he's pretty big, so I probably would rather see.
"The problem is whether Canelo is willing to take the risk," Jones remarked. "I don't think he will right now because I don't believe he feels he has a reason to. If he can't hurt Benavidez early in the first 3 or 4 rounds, I don't see him winning that fight." David Benavidez, a 2-time 168-pound titleist, has been pushing for a showdown with Alvarez for over 2 years. At the same time, Terence Crawford, formerly recognized as the best welterweight in the world, has expressed his willingness to move up 2 weight classes for a chance to face the Mexican star. However, Alvarez remains skeptical about the significance of a victory over Crawford, claiming it would add little to his legacy. Despite this, many believe Crawford has a genuine shot at pulling off the upset.
Charlo fight Crawford first, and then see how that goes. If he does good against Charlo with the weight, then let's see him come up and fight Canelo. Yes, but not right now.
If anyone can pull it off, it's Crawford. You can't tell him no, said Jones. I was the kind of guy who, if someone claimed they were better than me, and I could get close to their weight, here I come. I gave John Ruiz 33 pounds when I won the heavyweight title in 2003. I didn't care, I wanted to prove I was pound for pound the best and do something historic that had never been done. That's probably how Bud feels right now. He wants to achieve something historic to cement his legacy in boxing. Who wouldn't want to see the pound for pound best from yesterday face the pound for pound best of today? It's a mega fight. If Bud puts on the muscle and the weight, how can you doubt him? One thing is certain, he's not just going out there to collect a paycheck. He'll step into that ring to win because that's who Bud is. If he carries the weight well, it'll be a great fight. He can box like Floyd Mayweather, but he can also fight. He hits without getting hit. If he can handle the power at that weight, there's a good chance he wins the fight.
I want to see Crawford come up with some weight classes and show he can be dominant at 54. You understand me?
That fight was done Crawford and
Crawford won a pound best fight.
Jones, a 4-division title holder who frequently fluctuated in weight during the latter half of his career, believes Canelo Alvarez should focus on staying at super middleweight. It's definitely best for Alvarez to stay at 168, Jones said. I didn't understand why he went up to 175 to fight Dmitry Bivol in the first place. He had already beaten Sergey Kovalev, who was at the end of his career. Bivol, on the other hand, is in his prime. They're two completely different animals. He got Kovalev at the right time. Canelo should go back down and dominate his division. Don't try to take on another challenge like that because lightning isn't going to strike twice. Meanwhile, former 2-weight world champion Andre Ward has also shared his thoughts on the potential super fight between Saul Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, adding more intrigue to the ongoing discussions.
I can bet the house on is Bud, because me and him, we so much alike in our mentality. Like soon as I see this dude, he come.
Terence "Bud" Crawford has had his sights set on Canelo Alvarez ever since delivering a career-defining performance against welterweight rival Errol Spence Jr. last year. While Canelo initially dismissed the idea of the fight, he recently revealed that he would consider defending his super middleweight titles against the naturally smaller Crawford if the financial incentive was compelling enough. Speaking on the All the Smoke podcast, former undefeated champion Andre Ward, who retired with a flawless 32-0 record, shared his thoughts on the most intriguing matchups in boxing. I want to see Canelo fight either Terence Crawford or David Benavidez, Ward said. You've got two options, you can face someone in your weight class, or you can take on the smaller guy here, Terence Crawford.
We so much alike in our mentality. Like soon as I see this dude, he come in the room or I come in the room, we start arguing about basketball.
When it comes to the potential Crawford-Canelo clash, Andre Ward says his money is on the fighter who last competed 3 weight classes lower. I'm not betting against Terence right now, against anybody, Ward stated. We're talking about the most skilled fighters in the game today, and Crawford is someone you can bet the house on. He's not just skillful, his heart and mindset set him apart. Me and him are so much alike in our mentality. There aren't many guys like that out there right now. A lot of guys talk the talk, but until you get in that real fight, we don't know what you truly have. I'm not saying he's an easy fight, but in a 50-50 matchup, that's when we see who you really are.
Wrestling, anything, bro. Like, man, you can't, man, you looking small. What you mean I'm looking small? You looking small. Like, it's just that, like, you gotta really hurt that dude to turn.
He's different. He's a dog. That's the kind of stuff that gets me out of my seat, says Shakur Stevenson, who refers to Terence Crawford as his big brother. Stevenson believes Crawford would defeat Canelo Alvarez if they ever met in the ring, despite the significant 14-pound weight disadvantage Crawford would face against the Mexican superstar. Unlike Jermall Charlo, Canelo has expressed no interest in facing Crawford, citing the size difference as a major factor. However, Stevenson doesn't see the weight as an issue for Crawford, believing that skills, not size, ultimately win fights. The former two-weight world champion is confident that Crawford's southpaw stance, excellent movement, and solid fundamentals give him the winning formula to trouble Canelo and secure a victory.
Like I said, I've been saying this, I don't think size win fights, I think skills do. So, yeah, I think like being a southpaw with good movement and sharp boxing, it'd be hard for Canelo with that high guard to walk him down and load up on them big hooks. I think Bud would be Canelo.
When discussing Terence Crawford's next move with IFL TV, Shakur Stevenson shared his thoughts on the current landscape of boxing. Terence Crawford is running things right now, Stevenson said. As for who he should face next, I'd love to see him take on Charlo. Although Charlo is already set to fight Canelo, I genuinely believe Crawford could beat Canelo. Being a southpaw with excellent movement and solid boxing skills, it would be tough for Canelo to walk him down and land his powerful hooks. I wish Charlo wasn't fighting Canelo, but it is what it is. I truly think Bud could beat Canelo, and I'd love to see it because, for me, size doesn't win fights, skills do.
Who knows? That smile's telling me something else, bro. I think it might be on the line, no?
I'm just saying, man, we can't say it's not gonna happen. We can't say that it is.
The potential matchup between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford is one of the most exciting fights that could be made in boxing today, and with Saudi Arabia's increasing involvement in the sport, it seems more feasible than ever. Trainer Robert Garcia discussed how Canelo holds an advantage over Crawford, while also addressing Crawford's situation. He clarified that if Crawford doesn't get a fight against Canelo soon, the Omaha boxer may very well choose to retire.
Because the way Crawford is doing it is because he knows it's the biggest payday in his life, and he'll never, maybe what he could get against Canelo, he's never made in all his fights combined.
Crawford is a smart man. He's already accomplished everything he set out to do, Garcia said in an interview with Fight Hype. He's achieved a lot and doesn't need to challenge himself further, he doesn't have anything left to prove. I've spoken with him personally, and my feeling is that he wants that big fight against Canelo. If he doesn't get it, he might just retire. Garcia went on to say that Crawford still has plenty of options in the junior middleweight division if he chooses to challenge the current champions. The most enticing option is the WBC and WBO champion, Sebastian Fundora. Crawford could also target IBF champion Bakram Murtazaliev. Other potential opponents include Jermall Charlo, Virgil Ortiz Jr., Sergey Bohachuk, and Xander Zayas.
So of course, why would he call up Benavidez when he's calling out Canelo knowing that he's going to make double the money?
Because he wants to fight at 68, that's why.
So that's why, Eddie. Don't...
For Robert Garcia, Crawford no longer needs to seek another fight. Given his outstanding career and unbeaten record, he has nothing left to prove. He's already accomplished it, Garcia explained. I don't see him fighting just to satisfy fans who say he needs to face this or that opponent. Garcia believes that if money were the driving factor, Crawford wouldn't need to fight again, as he has already secured his financial future and made wise investments. The only reason he would return to the ring, Garcia says, is for a shot at Canelo to end his career on a high note. He's going to look for that big fight and enjoy his life. He's a very smart man. He's invested his money and doesn't need to fight again. But if the Canelo fight comes, he'll take it. Otherwise, he might never fight again, the trainer added.
Why? You know why. He wants to make the biggest fucking payday.
Does he have a chance in the fight?
Everybody has a chance, but I think he'll put up some good rounds. I think he loses to Canelo, but he'll put up good rounds. Better than Charlo did.
If the fight happens against the Guadalajara boxer, Robert Garcia believes Crawford could compete with Canelo for several rounds, perhaps not enough to win, but enough to earn his respect and that of the public. Look, I think Crawford could hold his own for a few good rounds. The first 6 to 8 rounds would be very competitive. Crawford has the skills, he's very strong, he has great speed, and good power to earn Canelo's respect and show him that same respect. But eventually, I think Canelo's size and strength will take over. Still, those first 6 rounds would make for a very entertaining fight, Garcia concluded.
Crawford, Canelo.
He'll put up some good rounds. He'll fight. He'll probably get stopped and get knocked out, but he'll put up some good rounds. Yeah, but he'll put up.
The potential fight between Saul Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford appears to remain more of a wish than a reality, with a major hurdle being more than just agreeing on a multi-million-dollar purse. Even if the offer is the best of Canelo's career, he might not be flexible enough to accept it. However, former WBO and WBC light welterweight champion Tim Bradley doesn't believe any external factors can stop Crawford's momentum. Instead, Bradley feels that only Crawford himself has the power to end his dominant reign in the sport.
I don't think we've seen anything like Terence Crawford in all my years of boxing. I know that for a fact. I do study history. I've never seen anybody that has everything.
I think the only person who can beat Crawford is himself at this point, Bradley told Fight Hype recently. Canelo is the champion, and he deserves respect, but when it comes to skill for skill, Crawford all day. I think he'll do well against Canelo, I really do. Would I be nervous if they fought? Hell yeah, because Canelo can punch, and all it takes is one big shot. But as long as Crawford uses his legs, his athleticism, and his defense to stay out of the way, he should be able to beat Canelo. Interestingly, Bradley believes Crawford can outbox Canelo in a similar way Floyd Mayweather Jr. did 11 years ago when he defeated the Mexican star at 22 years old in a catchweight fight in 2013.
Good speed, power, timing, can switch the way he switches, to have the toughness, the meanness that he has, the way he finishes guys, the way he breaks down guys.
Crawford is about to turn 37 and has never fought above 147 pounds, meaning he would be moving up in weight without ever facing the top contenders at 168. More fans would likely agree with Bradley if Crawford were interested in testing himself at 160 and 168 against the division's best, proving he can hang with the top fighters. However, many fans perceive Crawford as being in a rush to secure a massive payday against Canelo, using the fight as a golden opportunity to set himself up for a comfortable retirement.
Smartest guys that I've ever seen in the ring, right up there with Floyd Mayweather. So yeah, I would pick Terence Crawford to beat a Canelo Alvarez, even at 160.
This is the problem, Tim Bradley said to Fight Hype, reacting to Canelo Alvarez's statement that he's not interested in fighting welterweight Terence Crawford because there's nothing to gain. Jermall Charlo came in at 154, and he moved up a couple of weight divisions to fight Canelo. He got in there and basically laid an egg, he just survived. He didn't feel like he was on Canelo's level. Bradley continued, the difference is Crawford's mentality. He's a top pound-for-pound guy. However, Bradley added that it remains uncertain whether Crawford will be any different from Charlo, as Crawford hasn't volunteered to test himself against some of the top super middleweights to give fans a clearer reference point.
Everybody can call me crazy and whatever you want to say. I get it. Y'all didn't believe me when I told you about Spence, but trust me, Crawford will figure out a way.
If Crawford decided to prove himself against David Benavidez or David Morrell, you'd feel confident that he's not just showing up for the payday against Canelo without aiming to win, Bradley explained. But since Crawford has no intention of fighting anyone at 168 before facing Canelo, you can only conclude this is about money and nothing else. Charlo was never a top pound-for-pound guy, but Crawford's skill set is what sets him apart. He's a competitor, and he's been chasing Canelo. He wants to fight him, and I truly believe he'll do well against Canelo.
A secret y'all don't know, and I ain't gonna tell you why I would pick Terence Crawford, but it's part of the secret is the reason why I'm picking him to win the fight. So
is it like a skill set? Is it like a preparation thing, or?
Nope, I'm not.
Am I nervous about the fight if it happens? Hell yeah, because Canelo can punch. That guy can hit hard, and all it takes is one shot, Bradley said. If he hits someone like Terence, who's moving up 3 weight classes to face him, it could be dangerous. However, just like we saw with Floyd Mayweather in 2013, Mayweather was able to outbox Canelo when he was 22 years old. He outthought him and outsmarted him. Bradley uses Mayweather's performance as a reference to support his belief that Crawford could overcome the size difference against Canelo and win. However, he acknowledges that it's still uncertain if Crawford could replicate Mayweather's success, especially since Canelo fought the welterweight Mayweather at 154 pounds.
Just gonna put it like this. If the fight was to happen, you will see. Yeah.
Because a lot of people think Terence can compete.
It wasn't a situation where Mayweather moved up to 168 and fought a prime version of Canelo at full strength, Bradley said. But I have more evidence supporting Crawford's ability. I think Crawford has what it takes to outbox him, outthink him, make him miss, and make him pay. Bradley continued, as long as Crawford isn't getting hit too often and uses his legs, athleticism, and defense to avoid the big shots, he should be able to beat Canelo.
Just Canelo, because he's been hit by bigger guys. He's not gonna I don't want to say show him respect, but he's going to be able to go, okay, I could walk through this. I could take a little risk and set up my traps, cut the ring off, dig to the body, and wear Terence down over the rounds.
I'm just going to tell you like this.
Canelo's slow and methodical, but he has a good jab, quickness, and throws a lot of hooks, Bradley said. Crawford just needs to avoid all of that and get underneath them, and he should be able to beat Canelo. Bradley added, we're basing it on what Charlo was able to do, but Charlo didn't do anything. He was scared, didn't want to get knocked out. I don't blame him. He didn't want to end up on a poster. I get that, but he said he wanted to be great, and he wasn't great that night. Crawford, on the other hand, is daring to be great, and I believe he can do it. While Canelo hasn't paid much attention to the challenge, fans are split on what would happen. However, Sean Porter, who knows Crawford well, says he's concerned.
No, that's 2 more weight classes. Like, once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds.
That's all for now. For the latest updates on news, events, and everything happening in the world of boxing, stay connected by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss out on high-quality content like this. Until next time, peace out.